All right, we're going to be looking at a very fantastic topic talking about bearings. And when you're looking at bearing is a mathematics of distance and direction. So mathematics of location, direction, the distance between them. And when you're dealing with direction, we're going to be dealing with the four cardinal points. Talk about our north, our south, the west, and the east. All right. First thing you need to know is if you're finding the bearing of a point from the other, you're going to be traveling in the clockwise direction. So, which means you're going all the way from the north in the clockwise direction. That's how to get a bearing of a particular point. All right, now in this question, we have this diagram and we have the north, we have a point P, we have a point B and a point A. The first question is to write down the bearing of, all right, we have an angle in the question. I forgot to put it. That's 120 degrees right here. So the first question is write down the bearing of B from P. Now we're measuring the bearing of B from P. So this is our point P, which is at this middle. And the bearing, like I told you, we're going to be taking it in the clockwise direction, all the way from the north, turn in a clockwise direction. This is our north. The bearing of B from P, which is P, the northern part of P, we're going to take it from this direction and go this way until we touch the line that meets that join B and P. And that is given already. So the bearing of B from P is 120 degrees, as given in the question. Now, the second question says, write down the bearing of A from P. This is A and this is P. As we already know, we're going to start from the north, turn in the clockwise direction until we reach A, and this is our point P. So the bearing of A from P is going to go all the way from this to this point. Yeah, that's the bearing of A from P. All right, so we know this part to be 120. We don't know this part, but we also see that this is a right angle, which means this is 90 degrees. So when we subtract that from 360, we're supposed to get a bearing of A from P. So the bearing of A from P is going to be 360 minus 90 degrees. This 90 degrees subtracted from the whole angle at a point, and that's going to give us 270 degrees. And that is the bearing of A from P. Now, the third question, which is going to be our last question, says the bearing, write down the bearing of P from B. This is P from B right here. To get the bearing at point B, we're going to be doing A cardinal point to get our point there. So always starting from the north, we're going to go all the way from the north until we get to this point. All right, so the bearing of B from the bearing of P from B is going to be all the way 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, plus this angle that I'm going to call theta. So the bearing of P from B is going to be 270 degrees plus theta. Now let's find theta. To find theta is going to be very easy. Looking at this point, if we draw this line down and make it a cross, you notice that this angle plus is equal to this angle. All right, this angle and this angle are equal. Remember what I taught on parallel line, that alternate angles are equal, and I use Z as the cheat code. So this angle and this angle, they are alternate angle and they are equal. Now remember that all the way from this point to this place is 120, and we know this part is 90 degrees. So theta is actually 120 minus 90. All right, so theta 120 minus 90. 120 minus 90 is 30 degrees. All right, so it means the bearing of P from B is going to be 270 plus, you can put 120 minus 90, that's our theta, or we just put 30 degrees straight. So that's 270 plus 30, and that's going to be 300 degrees. All right, so that is the bearing of P from B. 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 30, and that is 300 degrees. It's simple, straight, and fantastic. If you understand this, kindly give it a thumb up, subscribe to our channel if you are yet to do so, share this video with all the students that it will benefit, and we're going to see you again in the next class. Do have a great time. Thank you and bye-bye.